Hello and welcome to the daily crypto market review. Starting off with the previous video I posted, if you remember, I said that Bitcoin has formed a wick in start of May when Terra Luna collapsed and they were forced to sell their 80,000 Bitcoin on exchanges, and we saw this huge wick in overall crypto market. What I said at that time that we are expecting that this is not a proper bounce expected, and therefore we will be seeing further downside to fill the empty gaps in this wick. So we are right now forming a fulfill of this wick right now. If you see, we the later week we filled the wick partially, and then the other week we again filled the wick partially. And if you see, this wick was not formed the later week. If you see on the Bitcoin weekly chart, we formed a green wick the next week. However, this is the candle I was talking about previously. If you remember that this is the candle I was talking about to fill this big empty void area in the previous video. Even if you hear this,
This is what I expect for the next week to continue the motion, and this would be one of the worst continuous downtrend of the Bitcoin, which I expect to be continued for quite a while. And this would be our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9th week in a continuous downtrend for Bitcoin.
moving on towards crypto market updates. We are currently observing a slight pump. However, Bitcoin today broke down this channel and closed the daily candle below this channel, which confirms that we are still in the bearish trend. And however, Bitcoin is still following the path I mentioned it would be following, which is around having the targets of around $23,000 to $21,000. However, there are further more macroeconomic scenarios which I'll discuss later in the video, which are very important for future price outlook for Bitcoin, as there are still analysts saying that Bitcoin can go below 10,000, or even some are saying that it can go below $8,000. So I'll be clarifying those price actions in this video. If you see right now, Bitcoin is having a resistance at around 28,207, which is our moving average of 13. So that is why we use moving averages to find the support and resistances of the Bitcoin. Right now it is respecting the moving average of 13. However, we still expect the downside movement since Bitcoin has broke down this channel, and now this channel is acting as a resistance for Bitcoin price action, and it can be a very strong resistance. If you observe Bitcoin around $29,000, so I'll be posting the setup for shorting Bitcoin if we see Bitcoin around $29,000 shortly. Since there is low supporting volume and the buying volume is not sufficient to prop up the price and switch bullish sentiment in the market. Moving on towards Ethereum. God, oh God, what a day for Ethereum. Ethereum has bled tremendously today and yesterday. We saw Ethereum to reach around $1,430 today, as Bitcoin has started bleeding, so the altcoins are doing a twice of that price action. However, Bitcoin still shows that there is further downside, so the alts can have further more downside. So you have to be prepared that if you are buying altcoins, you better not be going in already heavy, as there is further more downside expected, and I still expect Ethereum to reach at least $1,000 or $1,100. That would be a good buying opportunity for generation wealth, if you know that bear markets are usually catalyst for creating generational wealth. They are not short term. However, if you can control your emotions in these markets, you can make a lot of money. Talking of Ethereum support and resistance, currently the resistance for Ethereum is of 14 moving average, and right now we are seeing a slight resistance at this point. However, I expect Ethereum can move upside shortly but still continue the overall downward trend motion. If you see the Bitcoin daily closing, which I'll be showing you right now, yesterday Bitcoin's daily close was around 28,424, which is lower than 28,500, and the previous R4R candle was closed around 27,457, which is lower than again 27,500. So we are constantly closing red candles below 1000 decrement, 1000 dollar price decrements in Bitcoin. So this is extremely bearish in the longer time frame if you look from a bigger perspective. Moving on towards the total crypto market capital, the crypto market capital breached the strong support yesterday and right now it is pumping along with the Bitcoin. However, I expect this since it's not really reacting to this resistance right now. However, I still suspect this pump is real and we still have far more probability of going downside along with a bloodbath in altcoins. If we see towards Bitcoin dominance, it didn't play out much today. Bitcoin dominance is currently having a relief, so you can expect a slight green upside motion in the altcoins. However, the altcoins have been bleeding tremendously in the past 2 days, including today, so they needed to cool off their RSI levels since they have been oversold lately. However, tomorrow will be the day for United States market opening and we can expect a little relief, or if the stock continue to bleed, then we can see the continuation of bloodbath in crypto market, especially the altcoins. Moving on towards USDT dominance, which we have observed to increase significantly, which is also further catalyst for the downside in altcoin prices, is currently retracing as we have seen the further retracement of the Bitcoin dominance. They are usually following each other. However, once the Bitcoin dominance starts to move up again, we can again see bloodbath in altcoins and the USDT dominance go upside. Moving on towards the dollar currency index, the dollar currency index continues to rise in its strength gain. We yesterday saw a pump from 103 strength index points to 104 strength index. That's a huge pump in one day for dollar currency index, approximately 0.85% gain. However, I still expect dollar currency index to reach the point of 105 or even beyond and then retrace slightly, and then I expect it to continue further as we are still in quantitative tightening on the macro scale perspective. Moving on towards the total crypto market capital excluding Bitcoin. This chart is usually similar to Ethereum as most of the altcoins are following Ethereum, and even if we see the support and resistance of this chart, the support it is currently this the resistance of this action is right now at $571 billion. It just has broken this resistance and is moving upside following Ethereum. But now right now I expect it to retrace as usually we have seen bull traps of this kind, and the printing of the red candles and closing of the red candles in 4-hour or even daily time frame doesn't show any bullish sign or any proper bounce. Moving on towards some macroeconomic factors which I thought would be very important to discuss. Right now you have to watch these 7 factors which can be either bullish or bearish for the market. First of all, we are following, there is no objection that we are going towards a recession when there is high unemployment rate in United States and the other countries, since United States is the biggest economy in the world and therefore its economy is tied to all sectors and markets. However, if recession hits United States, which most analysts are saying that it already has hit United States, then Fed meeting can further say that we are increasing the interest rate of the bank to further strengthen the United States dollar. That would eventually have be focused to bring the real estate and the other essential life support items to have a lower price. However, the CPI rate that was about 8.6, much higher than 8.3 of the last time, or even expected 7.9, which was my market pricing up already and was taking slight breather towards upside. However, the 8.6 number that came outside has shocked the whole market as well as the big banks. So they are quietly pulling out the money from the market and the retailers are also following them. So there's overall dump in the market caused by the CPI number, and I expect the upcoming Fed meeting to be hawkish, and they will increase the further interest rates. If the interest rates would be increased by 0.75 basis points, then we can expect further dump in the market, eventually Bitcoin reaching the liquidity area. And if the Fed increase 50 basis point interest rate, then that wouldn't be either bullish or bearish. However, that is what market has already been priced when the meeting will eventually happen. This point we has already discussed, and it can be either bearish or slightly bullish if the basis points are lower than 0.5, which I expect wouldn't be happening anytime soon. Another important thing to discuss is the supply chain issues caused by wars. The countries which were supplying wheat, corn, oil, silicon chips to the world are now at war. However, Russia had no major role in supplying the silicon chips, but it was still supplying wheat, corn, oil to major European countries and even Asian countries. So this is a worldwide problem right now, and even if other countries jump into war, then it would extremely be bearish for the scenario. Bitcoin ETF approval, we have talked about on Twitter as well that Bitcoin ETF approval can be just around the corner, but obviously it is not a very good time or ideal time for the crypto market to introduce an ETF even in the US market. As you have seen, Australia has introduced the ETF, but it had negligible effect in the price of Bitcoin, and the Bitcoin price continued to dump further. However, there can be an argument that United States is the biggest economy in the world, and the approval of ETF would definitely have an upside in the market. But right now the scenario and the situation of the market is totally different, and in current situation the investors are pulling off from the market, especially from the risky assets such as stocks. So Bitcoin is definitely a highly volatile currency, or you can say a stock which most of the Wall Street guys consider as a tech stock or part of Nasdaq. So this might be slightly bullish, however, not long term. Bitcoin will have to continue its downfall to the liquidity area. Another extremely bearish news followed by the Terra Luna's USD collapse. The market is having a lot of talk about the USDT De-peg. If this happens, then trust me, crypto market would hardly be having a market capitalization of even 700 to 600 billion dollars, and most of that would be in Bitcoin. The altcoins we are having right now, the pairs in USDT would hardly be breathing, or most of the companies would be going bankrupt related to cryptocurrencies. So that would further signal us that there is a red flag in the cryptocurrency market, and I always recommend you to even diversify your stable coins. Another bearish thing that can be in the market is MicroStrategy going bankrupt, as we currently see their average buying price is way higher than the current Bitcoin market price, and there is still a lot of room for MicroStrategy to go bankrupt, as most of their Bitcoin bought are from the company's claims that they have been performing better, and however they have taken loans from the banks recently to buy Bitcoin, and what they have kept as collateral, again they have kept collateral Bitcoin to further support their buying of Bitcoin. That can even lead to a death spiral if Bitcoin even goes below $20,000. So that can be extremely bearish, and if they are forced to sell even some or most of their Bitcoins, that can further cause collapse in the Bitcoin price action. And once the Bitcoin price leads, then we can see extremely bearish momentum in the crypto market overall. It would be more bearish scenario than the Terra Luna USD collapse. Another important news which we are seeing right now is the MT-GOX Bitcoin distribution to the victim. I found this important article. If you are interested, you can watch this. MT-GOX was a large crypto exchange that was responsible for 70% Bitcoin trade at this time. Just imagine how big it was. So at that time, approximately 850,000 bitcoins were disappeared overnight from the exchange, and they were considered to be hacked by an unknown hacker. However, the Japanese government, since the exchange was registered in Japan and the founders were also arrested in Japan, when not proven guilty, then the Japanese government continued to still proceed with the information and investigation on the case. And if however 200,000 Bitcoin have been recovered, but still 650,000 Bitcoins remain untapped, and the stealer is still unknown. If this huge amount of Bitcoin is started to be distributed to the victims, then you can expect, and even if 50% or even 25% of them sell the Bitcoin, then you can expect a huge downside in the Bitcoin price action, and that would be extremely bearish for the market. So there are so many bearish indicators in the market right now, so I don't find any bullish indicator in the market right now. So overall I am bearish for the cryptocurrency market. Another bearish news which I forgot to list is the court appeals, that court appealed SEC to investigate the Kwon and Terra Luna collapse case, and what SEC found out after detailed investigation that just before the collapse of Terra Luna, Kwon cashed out $2.7 billion in a span of few months, and this is extremely bearish and further degrading the sentiments of the crypto market investigator, that Terra Luna was such a huge cryptocurrency, and obviously people didn't expect it, or the very least the VCs that invested in the project didn't expected the project to turn out such catastrophic to their huge investments. Overall, I'm still bearish for the cryptocurrency market. You can see these macro pumps, but overall we are going downside, and my target remains the same for the Bitcoin for the coming months or even weeks, considering the speed we are heading there. So I hope you like the video. Please hit the like and subscribe to the channel and share the video for others to be informed. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.